must ask, adding to the brutality of a national campaign, the Palin family also has an infant with special needs. What leads you, the senator and the governor, to believe that one won't affect the other in the next couple of months?
In terms of her personal life, I think the extent that people want to look at her, she's got an incredible life story with 5 children, with the son going into the military. She's got an incredible
She has an infant.
Story,
she has an infant with special needs. Will that affect her campaigning?
I don't believe it will affect her campaigning. I don't believe it will affect her at all.
Okay. Appreciate your time this morning, Mike Duhane.
Sure thing, Bill.
Kate?
Thanks.
Well, how will the nomination play out there, particularly with women voters? Let's turn to Cokie Roberts, ABC News longtime contributor, who joins us now from Washington. Good morning, Cokie.
Good morning, Kate. That long time is a low blow.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that in a bad way. I mean that all good, Cokie. Hey, let me ask you about Gail Collins this morning, columnist in the New York Times, has written really a scathing column this morning, talking about the choice and basically suggesting that the only reason the governor was chosen was because she is a woman. And let me quote from Gail Collins. She says, "The idea that women are going to race off to vote for any candidate with the same internal plumbing is both offensive and historically wrong." What do you think?
That's correct. That women do not necessarily vote for women. However, if you get a lot of questions about who's taking care of the children, it might make people angry enough to vote for her, because that is something that traditionally has very much angered women voters when women candidates are asked those questions, and male candidates never are.
Last night, we had 80,000 folks in the stadium there with us. And, the message that we were able to get across to our biggest audience in the middle of Denver, in the middle of a swing state that George Bush won by only 4 points, just about 100,000 votes.
But women 35 to 50, well, here she is, 44 years old. She comes from a generation that, wasn't always pushing and trying to always knocking glass ceilings, but sort of that next half generation of women who have always been in the workforce in a way that they've been treated equally, particularly in the political world. So I think there's going to be an extra confidence that she has on the campaign trail that women will identify, particularly women in her age gap. But she has to perform really well this first time out.
Right, and let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, there were some ethics issues, just an investigation into whether she had some involvement in the firing of a state trooper. That needs to be at least clarified.
But here's
that will be gone through. And
right, but let me tell
ahead.
you the story. If it is her version of the story, which is she punished her sister's ex-husband who was beating her. So it's not like it's, this is sort of somebody who she was taking taking it personally, what happened. So it's sort of one of those things, it sounds bad, ethics investigation, and that she used the state and her position as governor to punish somebody who was doing harm to her sister. So I think that's one of those things she may get a pass, but go ahead.
Ultimately explainable. If elected, she would become the nation's first female vice president.